Hi, welcome back to Elements in Focus. My name is Aaron Rheaume, the Director of Financial Planning, and I've got Grant Sullivan here, our Manager of Advisor Operations. Grant and I love doing these videos together, and each one of these videos we're going through our 5 critical elements, and these are areas to where if you don't pay attention to, it could potentially jeopardize your financial plan. And so each week, Grant and I cover one of our critical elements to make sure that we're bringing up topics that you could spark questions with, or maybe some ideas that you have not thought about to where you could reach back out to FEG. Specifically today, we're talking about legacy planning, and this is not a topic that a lot of people want to talk about. Me personally, my mom passed away from breast cancer at age 46, and so that was 21 years ago. And
You were
so my
young.
dad had to deal with the unexpected loss of a spouse, and it's not something that we wish upon anybody. And so the one thing that brings us some comfort is we've been able to help a lot of our families go through this. It's never fun, and so we're not insensitive to it.
No.
And there's just things that you need to pay attention to, and we can help you through that situation, and hopefully get you prepared so that you're not having to deal with that on your own. And so, Grant, preparing for an unexpected loss of your spouse, what
Yeah.
needs to be done?
And thank you for setting me up for this, Aaron. It's so hard. Words can't express the grief that families go through when they lose a significant other. And we hope that this is only something you have to see once in a lifetime. And because of the nature of the work that we do, we see it quite a bit. And so we've the blessing in that is that we've been able to see a lot, and we can prepare and help families guide them through an event like this. So preparing for the unexpected loss is something that we think most people understand, right? You got to prepare for it. What does that mean? That means if you're young and you're building a family, having the right amount of coverage to make sure liabilities are covered and that your family and your situation doesn't abruptly sink or end at the loss of a significant other or a breadwinner. The other key element, too, is really understanding what happens to an estate at the loss of a spouse. The estate code and tax code play significantly into that. Case in point, for families that are not prepared and there's too much awaiting in a certain tax deferred bucket of money, we can see the tax brackets, especially for families in your life after work or retirement, increase significantly just because they lost a spouse. And more importantly, too, is making sure that all of your beneficiary
Hmm.
designations are set up the way you want them to be. There's nothing worse than losing a significant other and finding out that you were not the correct beneficiary on their assets for whatever reason. Maybe it's a blended family, right? Maybe there's a remarriage. There's things that really can wreck that if not planned for accordingly.
The other thing with the beneficiary side is making sure that they are correct and that you do have things that can be beneficiary designated, having those designations, because what you want to do is avoid assets going to probate. And so I'll tee that back
Yeah,
up to you.
100%. And this goes in, thank you, Aaron, for the segue into it. Making sure your estate planning documents are clear
Yes.
so that you understand, depending on the state rules that you have, common law versus others, etc., that everything is going to stick with that spouse accordingly. And so, again, the other key element here is making sure your medical directives are intact, your powers of attorney are intact, because oftentimes we think of a spouse just passing away. Well, unfortunately, the majority of the time they actually fade away.
Hmm.
And so making sure you have the appropriate documentation to take care of your significant other through those durable power of attorneys and et cetera is significantly important.
One other thing I want to point to, and this may be kind of a myth, where people are told don't do anything for,
Yes.
3 months or 6 months after a spouse. Can you talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit?
So this is one of the hardest things that we have to deal with in the organization is that when a significant other passes at the end of the year, specifically in December or late December, the myth and the reason that was created was so that you're not sold product, you're not you taken advantage of because you're in a deep emotional state. And so a lot of people say, don't do anything, don't let anybody let you do anything. They're out to get you. And there's a lot of that was true, right? There's a lot of things you don't want to make emotional decisions on. But here's the unfortunate piece of the scenario, what Aaron's alluding to, is that that's the final year you get to have a married filing jointly tax return. And as horrific as that sounds, that is the rule from the IRS. They used to give us 3 years prior to 2000. I know it was actually 2001, 2002, and after some of tax code changes, they dropped to a single year. So if a spouse passes away at the end of the year, we do want to do a lot of tax planning because it is the last year you'll have that joint tax return.
Thank you, Grant. And if
Absolutely.
you do have questions or want to make sure you've got the correct beneficiaries that are designated and your documents are in order, please reach out to us. Schedule a complimentary next steps meeting. That's a 90-minute meeting where FEG will walk through your current situation, your unique situation, and provide our guidance and insight. If you have more questions, reach out to talk to FEG at yourlifeafterwork.com. You can call our 800 number to schedule a meeting. Brittany will get a meeting scheduled with one of the advisors on our team. And as a reminder, if you want more investment-related content, please tune into our market carver that we send out every Thursday, where Adam, Andrew, Joe, Zach, our portfolio management team, are going through more in-depth investment conversations. They can talk about what's going on in the market, the economy, the bond market. We do that every Thursday, so if you want more market-driven content, please tune into that. Again, yourlifeafterwork.com. Reach out to us, scan the QR code on the screen. We want to make sure your questions are being answered. Have a blessed day, and thank you for watching our Elements in Focus video.